Hey guys, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a finished jewelry video for you, and boy do I have a lot. I don't even really know where to start. I guess, okay, we're gonna start with Potomac beads, Midnight Meridian for June of 2026, their treasure box. So this, I have a tutorial coming out soon for this really pretty bracelet that I made using all of their gorgeous beads and findings. Love the way this turned out. It's got such a fun look to it, using the quad bows and everything. So I have this. Then I made these. There's no video for this. But I took some of the Potomac pearls and their crystals and seed beads and everything, and the gray round duos, and I made these really pretty earrings. Love these. And then, let me move these up a little bit. Then I made, using those, the bars, I forgot what they were called. Everything is just everywhere in my room, so I can't even remember the names of some of these things, but if you get the box, you'll know. Let me move this out of the way. So then for the third thing, I made this really pretty pendant necklace, and then I made these earrings to go with it. I loved these silver beads. I thought they were so pretty. So I made this. I used the little drops. I used the round duos, the magnesite, and the little disc beads. And this was so pretty. I still have a ton of beads left too. So this was Potomac beads, Midnight Meridian. This was them. Now let me move this. Sorry, I wanted to do this. I sold one of my pieces and I need to mail it out, so I wanted to show you guys. So next we're going to do, let me move that back. Next, let's do Mermaid's Cove for Sam's bead box. So I used Royal Crown Faceted Topaz. Can't find which ones. Oh, here they are. Okay, yeah, I used these beads right here, the diamond ones, and I started by making some of these earrings. I used my copper ear wires, I used their fire polish beads, and then I used some of my copper little flower bead caps, and then I just put a jump ring through that to turn that into a dangle. So these are so cute, and they're lightweight, they're really pretty. Have a nice look to them. Then I used the Abalone Freeform pendant, and this turned out really pretty. I took some wire and I put some of my own teal and silver seed beads on it, and I kind of wire wrapped this, just freeform wire wrapped it. Then I did a little intricate loop there, just to kind of cover the top of the pendant, something different than I normally do. Then I used the chip beads, and I used the same seed beads of mine and a few silver ball beads, and I made this. And then I just used my own lobster clasp for this, but I love the way this turned out. It goes through the hoop, and then I just and it's secure on there too. I could have used a little bit of glue, but I didn't. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Okay, so I did this. Then I've really been into these boho lariats lately. And so I took the little mermaids, and let me get it all in camera. I think this is about 60 inches. And I did put a lobster clasp on it so that it can be opened. But I did the teal beads, the gold beads. These, I added some of my own seed beads. I added these really pretty pink ones and white and teal. I think everything else was from Sam's bead box. So, and I just did random little patterns. I used the little fishes and the square beads, what were left, some of the fluorite. Yeah, so it just, I love the way this turned out. I love these kind of boho necklaces. I've been really into them lately, making them and selling them on my Etsy store. It's like I list them and I end up selling them. I think they're just fun because you can wear them really long. You could tie a knot in them. You could wrap them kind of like a choker. There's just so many different uses for these. So then, let me see here. I did this. Now there's a tutorial for this for Sam's bead box. I took my white seed beads and I added them, and I added some of these little copper spacer beads. They're hematite so they don't rust. And I just made a little pattern on here. So I do have a tutorial. Everything will be linked below in the description, any tutorials that I have or anything, because these are for all my boxes, plus some of my what's new on my bead mat stuff too. I'm just making one long video. So I have that, and I loved using this ceramic shell. This was so pretty. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else from this. No. So there's, oh yes, there is. Hold on one second. So, and then the last thing that I made for Sam's bead box, Mermaid Cove, I did, let me move this. So I made this, and this turned out so pretty. So these are the earrings that I made. And then I just hand sewed these with my little purple seed beads and made it into this really cool pendant. So it's kind of almost like a little tail. I love the way that turned out. I didn't have a video for it. And then this was another one I made. I took I took 3 of the square beads and I made a bead here. I like doing that with a lot of my my beads sometimes when you get really pretty beads, and then just putting that little purple one there. Then I used these and some of the other beads from them, and I made this pretty one. So I made 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of 5 different sets of jewelry using Mermaid Cove. And this is really pretty. So let me get the other stuff. Okay, and next is the Bargain Bead Box, Strawberry Soiree. And I do have I have 2 videos for them. So this is one of the videos. I made a little fairy core mermaid long dangle necklace. If I can fit it all in here in the camera, but the link will be below to the tutorial, and I used the gorgeous toggle clasp that they gave us. And I did add some of my white and yellow seed beads in here. And then I used one of my 2-hole rectangular, it's clear, and I liked it because it didn't take away from the necklace, but it kind of connected it. And then I used some of these really big green faceted fire polish beads there. And then I took the gemstone teardrops, the 2 on the end, and I made these the 2 little dangles in the front using them. So yeah, this is definitely, and then I have the flower beads, and then I did add, wait a minute, no, those were their bead caps. I'm starting to get confused of what was theirs, what was mine, because I was really busy this month. So yeah, so I did this fairy core necklace. It's like kind of like fantasy and just the leaves, and I just thought this was so pretty. So I have this, And then I just sold this. I have to mail this out today. This was my strawberry one. I loved this. This was so much fun to make. There is a tutorial for this one as well. And somebody just bought this off my Etsy store, so I'm mailing this out. That's why I'm doing this video today, because I want to get this out in today's mail. But I wanted to show you this. This is so pretty. It's so much fun. These little spacers were so much fun to work with, the connectors. And I just did some random patterns. I'm really all about the randomness right now and making this boho fun jewelry. It's so pretty. I used some of the Shambhala beads and some of the gemstones, and this was one of my favorites. And then I used some of the chain as well. So I did this one. But then there is a video for this, and I loved making this one. I ended up, I think in the video I was talking about that I added just a pop of like this seafoam green, kind of a tiny seed bead, milky seed bead. But I loved the gray and the black, and I ended up using some clay beads for spacers because they're not heavy and they're really thin, and it just, that little pop of the gray with the black in between it, I thought was really pretty, and it really dressed all this up. So I love the way this turned out. And then I did the earrings as well. And like I said, there is a tutorial for this. And then, let me make sure, there's so much here still. And then I ended up making this gorgeous memory wire bracelet. And I used some of my own beads as well. I used from one of the past boxes, some rose quartz. And then these are the other beads. I used some of my bead caps. And I used some of my jade beads. And these are some of the, they're flower beads, but this is one thing, like I've said before, I like to use these flower beads sometimes as bead caps. And look at how cool that turned out with the silver in between it. Then I used some more of my periwinkle clay beads. And then these were all of my own little beads that I used. And I made little charms out of them. So I thought this turned out pretty. And then I have some rhodonite from a past bargain bead box. And then I took a little bit of that chain that we got, and I kind of just went to the tip of the memory wire and made kind of like a rugged bead out of it. So I thought this turned out pretty cool. So, and I did some right here too, just for a little difference. And then I put clay beads between each one of these gorgeous beads that they sent us, and I used some of my own, I think these are 6-0, yeah. And I just added a few other things, but I used the crystals, and I think this turned out really pretty. And so I have this. So this was the Strawberry Soiree box for Bargain Bead Box for June. And let me get this stuff out of the way because I have other goodies coming now. So now this is the rest of this is what's new on my bead mat. So I have been having fun making these really fun boho random kind of necklaces. I think they're really cool. They've got I do like 4 different, I take a color pattern and I do like 4 different kinds of flower pendants, and then I attach them to the necklace. And I had done another one, and somebody bought it like within 2 days on my Etsy store. So I did another one, but I love the colors. They're just really fun, and I don't know. I love doing things like this that don't have any rhyme or reason, you know, like this one's kind of off-centered, the big one. So like if you'd wear this in the middle, it would be off-centered, and then, so I did this. Then I made this one. This one was really fun. Let me get to the front of it. This one I took all, hold on one second, let me move this. I took 3 patterns and I attached them. And then I used some of my beads here. So this is like a long dangle pendant. I think it turned out really cool. So it's got the flower, and then the red, and then there's some silver, some magenta on it, some gold, tiny seed beads. And then I attached them together. So I think I did make these separate. Yeah, I made these separately. And then I attached them all with beading string. So I have this. Then, let's see. Okay, let's grab this one. And now getting back to the boho randomness, the brown zebra jasper that we got from, I think it was maybe a couple months ago, bargain bead box. I ended up making this long layered. I think this is like 60 inches. And I used the turtles they sent us, the crystals, the zebra jasper, and I added some of my seed beads. I added like a brown berry and a copper, and I made little things. And then I added some of these. And then I added I think there's only like 8 of these little turquoise beads. They're very randomly placed on here. But yeah, I had so much fun. Here's a little turtle again. And then I did a copper lobster clasp. So you could wrap this around. Oh, and then I did the coin beads too. This was a lot of fun to make. I've been having a blast making these long layering boho necklaces, like I said. Just been having a blast doing these. Oh, and then I added some of my own copper beads. And it's kind of a great way, like when you have a bead box and you want to finish up using everything, especially if it kind of cohesive, the colors and everything, you can just do one of these and make a random necklace and do a little bit of everything and then add your own little sparkle to it, like the copper beads or, you know, whatever you want to do. So I have this, and then this I think is my pride and joy. Let me undo it because it's pretty long. I don't want to hit the camera. This was my pride and joy. This is what's new on my bead map. So I ended up taking these little tulip beads and I sewed them like that. And then I took little flower caps and added the spacers and did another one here and just did some random bead patterns. And then these I think were from Dollar Bead Box. I had some of these stars I had never used. So I know the tulips are from Dollar Bead Box as well, this purple one and the pink one. So, and then I had these little drops, so I added those. So yeah, so this was my other one. This one is, I think this one is, let me lay this down so you can see. Oh, and then I had this random flower right there. I think this one is almost 80 inches. So this can wrap around your neck like 5 times. So it was really fun to make. I've had so much fun. I just get a bunch of my fun beads and, you know, it's got stars, it's got flowers, it's got tulips, crystals. It's just such a fun random necklace. Fire polish beads, seed beads, just table cut beads. This was just so much fun to make. So then, let's see, what else do I have? Oh, then I have my last but not least, I think, no, I have 2 more, don't worry. Okay, this is another one. Now this I did do kind of a tutorial for. This was a Hobby Lobby one. So I went and I went to Hobby Lobby and I got these beads right here. And then I got a strand. I'll leave the link below to this tutorial. Then I got a strand of these random leaves. I thought they were so pretty. And I ended up attaching them to jump rings, and I put them on so they were kind of in between seed beads, so they would move around. So they weren't, I tried just adding this right onto the string, and I didn't like it. It was too permanent, you know, it stuck out. I didn't like the way it laid. I like the way they dangle. And then I made these earrings to go with it. And they're so lightweight, so they're perfect for wearing, you know. So I did these, and then I just love this. This is definitely like a boho autumn, you know, cafe mocha, reading books, sitting around. It's been really hot in Florida. Maybe I'm thinking about autumn. So I have this. This was fun. I think this was 66 inches maybe. I'm trying to think. Then I just like put the random beads in there, you know. So I have this. And then my last but not least one is, and this was fun. This was the first one I made. And I didn't do a tutorial for this, but I made earrings. And then I took this flower and I hand sewed it around the flowers, made a flower out of the flower with seed beads and everything. And then I attached that green. I just thought that green was so pretty. So this kind of has the same vibe as this one. And I used up all of these leaves. I could go get another strand of them and then maybe have one of these leaves dangling from the top there. But I thought this turned out really pretty as well. So I'm trying to see if this was everything. I think this is so much jewelry. So much jewelry I made. So yeah, I will leave links below to all of the bead boxes that I used, my coupon codes, any tutorials that came out of this, and any Etsy links to any of the jewelry. Some of it's not listed on Etsy yet, but I'm still in the middle of listing it. But I just wanted everybody to see what I've been working on. And I'm loving these little Hobby Lobby trips where I just go and buy something and then I make something out of it. It was really fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And I will leave links to all my social media below. If you are not subscribed to my channel, but you like this jewelry, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, give me a thumbs up, and even give me a hype. It really helps my channel. And you will see more of these kinds of videos and tutorials and everything. So I hope you enjoyed this and have a great day.